What does it mean if your boyfriend hardly says I love you? Do you believe in once a cheat, always a cheat? What is wrong with people, honestly? Like, I feel like if someone couldn't make me laugh, I would just be bored. Like, okay, do you believe in soulmates? Hey everyone, it's Georgia and welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to Breakfast Club episode 3. So if you haven't seen Breakfast Club episode 1 and 2, I will link those down below. But it's basically just a Saturday morning chatty series where we can just talk about random topics. And today we have boy talk. So usually we have a different, I don't know why I just cheered to the boy talk, that was really strange. Usually I have some kind of breakfast involved, like a coffee or a smoothie, but today we've gone for a gin and tonic. I feel like this is going to be more of a brunch vibe, just because your questions, like, we need to have a chat about these boys. So that is why I thought we'd get a gin and tonic involved, have it more of like a tipsy boy talk. I've already had 2 gin and tonics, so I'm ready to answer the questions. So if you are new here, I would love for you all to stick around, join the family and subscribe. That means so much to me, and let's just get on with the questions. I'm just debating whether to start with like a really juicy one or just go with like a middle way one. I feel like we need to just build ourselves up. So the first one is, what does it mean if your boyfriend hardly says I love you? So this is one that I feel like is completely dependent on the relationship, because I know people say it different amounts in different relationships, if you know what I mean. It just kind of depends on how you are together, and also depends on the kind of person you are. Like, some people express love in different ways, I guess. Sounds so cringe, but some people will say it all the time and some people won't even say it, but it doesn't mean at all that they don't love you if they're not saying it. Like, the only time I would probably maybe have a problem with that is if something like all of a sudden changed. Like, if they always used to say it then all of a sudden they don't, I feel like then you might be feeling like, what has kind of changed here? But in general, I really wouldn't read into it too much. Like, I definitely don't think it means they don't love you if that's what you're worrying about. I feel like people just express how they feel in different ways. Okay, so there's one being, what do you look for in a boy? And another one is, what do you love in a relationship? So I feel like these would be the same thing, so I'm going to just kind of combine these into one. So what would I look for in a boy? It would 100% be funniness, like humour. I feel like if someone couldn't make me laugh, I would just be bored. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's the main thing. Like, if someone can't make you laugh, I feel like, what would you be talking about? Like, you'd just be sat there. But I also feel like that about friends. Like, I feel like a lot of my friends are funny, because I just feel like, not that I attract funny people, so I just really shouldn't have had these gins. I feel like I'm attracted to funny people in a way. It's just fun, isn't it? So yeah, definitely humour. 100% loyalty would be the absolute biggest thing. Like, I can't stand loyalty. Like, I just hate it. And also like caring, someone that cares about you, things like that. That is probably what I would look for. And what do I love in a relationship specifically? Just having someone there to just share everything with, like to share experiences with, like to go like holidays. Like, everything is better when you share it with someone, I feel, at times. Not that you need a relationship, but I feel like that is the one thing that I love the most. Like, sharing experiences, having someone to talk to, having like a little best friend there, like all the time. Like, anytime I have news or like something to say, I always just tell my boyfriend straight away, and it's just the best thing. Like, I feel like it's like different, just like share everything, like your personal experiences and also things together is the nicest thing. So we've got one that is, do you believe in once a cheat, always a cheat? And I don't really know my full opinion on this, because I've never been in that situation. I feel like you never know what you would do until you're put in that situation. I personally don't think I could ever like fully trust someone again after that had happened, because I feel like when they went out or when they were out doing things, I would always just be worried about that kind of thing. I feel like it would just kind of turn me psycho in a way. So I don't necessarily believe in once a cheat, always a cheat, like as if they're going to keep doing it. It could have been a mistake. In some circumstances, people make mistakes, and I know people who have give people second chances and it's worked out for them, but I think personally, I don't think I'd be able to get it out of my head. Okay, so another one. Why do guys ghost from talking every day to nothing? What is wrong with people, honestly? Like, I don't understand what's wrong with these boys. I have no idea what would be going on in that person's head. That is the weirdest thing. But I know that that's happened to some of my friends before. Like, you've been talking to someone and then all of a sudden they just stop talking, and it's the weirdest thing. And I actually think that's one of the most unfair situations, because I know people often talk about how to get over someone you've never been with, and when you're in that like talking stage, you kind of be like, you don't really know what's going on. So especially if they just randomly stop talking to you, like completely to nothing, then that is just the weirdest thing. And why do they do it? I don't know. Maybe something's going on, maybe they had different intentions in mind. But I do feel like at least you know from that situation that they weren't the right person. If someone is literally just going to drop you like that, then it isn't the kind of person you wanted to take on to be in like a relationship or someone you want to be with. So you are so much better off without that person who's just going to drop you out of your life, which is the same with friendships. Like if someone can literally just leave you, a blessing that they've kind of left your life before, if you know what I mean. Do you believe in soulmates? I actually think this is really weird. I was watching Georgia May's video a couple of days ago, and her and her sister were talking all about do they believe in soulmates, and they were saying in their video, if there was just one soulmate for everyone in the whole entire world, what are the chances you're going to meet that soulmate? I feel like I do believe in soulmates in the sense that there are some people you meet, whether it's a relationship or a friend, that you just feel like they're meant to be in your life. So there's never any awkwardness when you first meet someone, they're kind of like meant to be with you. Then I believe in soulmates to that extent. There are people that are definitely meant to be for you and people that definitely aren't. So your best friend starts going out with your crush, what would you do? So I have to take myself out of my current situation because I've been with my boyfriend like 4.5 years, so I don't really have any crushes, obviously. I think if I was in a situation where I was single and I really like this person and the best friend knew that, and they all of a sudden started going out with like the person I liked, I would be like, what? Like that's so weird. Especially because I feel like suddenly if they were going to go out, like they're fully in a relationship now, surely you would have known before it got to that point. Like surely you would have known they were talking, something was going on. I mean, if it was a situation where I literally had known nothing about it, it was someone I liked, they randomly started going out, I would just have like 100 questions to ask. How to balance seeing your friends and your boyfriend. So I actually feel like I don't really struggle with this in a way, but I know people who maybe have struggled with this before. So I feel like when you first get into a relationship, it might be a bit of a struggle if you're kind of seeing them every day and your friends are kind of feeling a little bit dropped. But I feel like it's so important to balance the time, not equally as such, but like to make sure you're balancing the time and seeing both people. I feel like I'm quite good at that in a way because I kind of have my friends at uni, my friends at home, and then my boyfriend who lives near me at home and at uni, so it's kind of like I'm able to kind of split it. So yeah, I don't feel like I properly struggle with that. I would say if you are struggling with splitting your time, maybe just like, I think like always stick with your plans. So say if you'd made a plan with your friends, always stick with the original plan you made. That's like a rule that I would always do. Like if I'd already said I was going out for dinner with my friends and my boyfriend was like, do you want to go to the cinema? I'd be like, no, I can't, I've already made plans. Like I think the worst thing would be, I don't think I'd be bothered as a friend if my other friend was taking a lot of time with their boyfriend. I would just find that quite normal. But what would start to annoy me as a friend would be if they were like dropping you for things and like choosing him over you in situations that you've already made plans in. So I feel like in terms of balancing your time, you know, you can split your time however you want, like that's up to you. But I would say definitely don't start to like cancel plans and drop people for the sake of your boyfriend, because friends are so important. Like they're always there for you. Not that your boyfriend isn't, but I would say that it's so important to kind of balance the two. So the next one is, how do you know when you found the one? Well, this is quite a strange one. I feel like if you're with someone and it just feels right, you don't have like doubts, it just feels like it's meant to be, then that's when you like know you found the one. I feel like you would just know in a way. Maybe if you're asking yourself, is it the one, like maybe comparing people or being like, oh, have I found the one, have I not, then maybe you haven't. Or maybe it's just that like at the start you're having these doubts because you're a bit worried about it. I don't know, but I feel like when you found the one, you would kind of know about it and you wouldn't be looking elsewhere, basically, is how I would kind of think about it. Then again, I wouldn't say if you have any doubts at the start of a relationship that you haven't found the one, because you don't know if it's just kind of those doubts coming in. I would say if you've been with someone a few months, even like a year, a few months, you would definitely know if they're the one, because you would see like a future with them, you would think about them in everything you do. Whereas if you're kind of having doubts about whether they are when you're already in the relationship for a long time, I would say maybe they're not. How did you meet your boyfriend? How long have you been with your boyfriend? So I met my boyfriend actually at school, and this was when we were literally 15 years old and now 20. So yeah, we met at school and we started going out literally a week before I was 16. Like 4 and a bit years. So yeah. I've had one which is how to handle breakups, and I feel like because I haven't experienced like a really bad breakup, I don't know if I'm gonna give the best advice here, but I will just give my general advice of what I know from like friends, how I think I would deal with it. I feel like with these things you never know how you'd deal with it, but I can just give the best advice that I would try and give to my friend if it happened to them. I'd probably say definitely try and keep yourself busy, try and keep yourself distracted, and just being by yourself, I'd say, is the worst possible thing you could do. I would say constantly try and surround yourself with friends, do fun things, go do things, be with your family, and just make sure you're not like constantly on your own with your own thoughts, because I feel like that would be the worst thing. I feel like maybe take the time to work on yourself. You could like go to the gym, work out. I know that all these things though are probably like the last thing you want to do when you're feeling like that. So I would say allow yourself to have the time to be upset, because obviously it's a horrible situation to be going through and you never know really how you would deal with it. But I would say if you can, try and keep pushing yourself out there and do the normal things, because I think that would be the way to start possibly feeling more normal. Do you argue often in your relationship, and if so, how do you deal with them? So I feel like at the start of my relationship we maybe argued quite a lot more, because I feel like when you're kind of adjusting to another person in your life, it can maybe cause arguments and things because you're just kind of getting used to each other. But I would say now we don't argue a lot, that we definitely do argue. I feel like it's so normal for any couple to have arguments. And how I deal with it would be, we try and just kind of make yourself realise that it's just like if it's like a silly argument, then you have to just think of the bigger picture and like, this isn't important in the grand scheme of things. Why are we arguing with this? Why are we wasting our time over it? Is it actually really important what you're arguing about? And if it's not, just try and forget about it, try and get over it. But I would say having arguments in relationships is completely normal. Is jealousy in a relationship okay? And I was actually just discussing this question with my mum, so I was like, I don't actually know how to answer this. But I feel like if there's like jealousy, like full-on jealousy to the extent that it's unhealthy, then it's definitely not okay. Why would you shouldn't really have a reason to be jealous. They shouldn't be putting you in situations where you feel jealous, or you should be putting them in situations where they feel jealous. There shouldn't really be any reason to feel that. I was going to say to a healthy extent it's okay, but then I think to a healthy extent it probably wouldn't be classed as jealousy. So I would say probably not. Do you think it's okay to ask a boy out? 100%. I literally think this is, I just think this shouldn't even be a question. I know it's like is a big thing that the boy should ask out the girl, but I just think if the boy was just being a bit unclear, you didn't know what he wanted, you don't want to be wasting your time. Why would you want to be sat there wasting your time with someone you don't even know where it's going? Then I think just ask. If they're going to say no, then it's not the person you want to be with anyway, and then you're not going to be wasting any more of your valuable time, you know. So I think 100% it's okay to ask a boy out. You never know, they could be in the same situation. They could be like always like, I don't know if she wants to be with me, you don't know if you're not sure if he wants to be with you. Like maybe just having the conversation, getting it out there, then it just helps the situation to get more clarity. So yes, I would 100% say that's okay. Okay, so I have another one which says, my boyfriend is so bad at texting me back, so struggling during lockdown. Well, I really just feel for you on this one, because I feel like some people just really aren't like a communicator. They're not like the type of person who's on their phone all the time. They're not the type of person to fully communicate that well. I feel like some people just aren't like that. And I feel like in lockdown that must be awful, because obviously when you're in person, you can get that experience by just being with them. Whereas in lockdown, it's kind of like the only form of communication you have is like texting, FaceTiming and stuff. I would say if it's just texting that's the problem, definitely ring them, FaceTime them. But if it's kind of everything, I feel like you do need to have a chat and say like, look, I know you're not maybe like into doing all the calls and texts all the time in a normal situation, but I feel like maybe just make it clear that in lockdown, that during this time you just need them to be a bit more sort of communicative, is that a word? A bit more like willing to call you, because otherwise they may not even think about it. Like I know that my boyfriend literally spends hours on his PS4 and he wouldn't even think that I'm bothered in a way. So I feel like maybe just have the conversation and just be like, look, I feel like you're not communicating with me enough, like you're not talking to me enough, like can we come to like a middle ground here? And if he's not willing to, then I think that's not the best from him. But you just have to remember that lockdown isn't going to last forever. Just chat to them about it. So I feel like we've ended that on quite a deep note. I probably should have ended on a bit of a happier note, but I think I'm going to end this video here. I hope that answered some of your dilemmas, some of your relationship questions. I feel like I might look to do maybe like a full-on dilemmas one of these. Definitely leave a comment below of any of the topics you'd like me to talk about. But I thought boy talk's actually really fun. I really enjoyed it. I just wanted to quickly mention that because I have exams until June the 12th, mid-June, that this is part 3 of the 3-part series of The Breakfast Club. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want me to do it again, maybe in a few months, I can do like another installment or start another series, maybe, if that would be something you'd be interested in. But definitely comment below if you want me to carry on or do a few more episodes, or what you're thinking. But I'm just thinking for now, because I have exams, this may be the last episode for a while, and then we'll just see where we go from there. There'll definitely be at least one upload a week from me, I can 100% guarantee that. If you are new here, I would love you to stick around and join the little family and subscribe. I'll also leave my Instagram on the screen if you'd like to go follow me on there. So I hope you're doing okay during this time. You keeping safe, staying inside, staying well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!